Students, this is the first part of this last lesson which I started few days back. I gave you the general outline of this story. Today we start the first part of this story. I have divided this story into three or four parts. To be sure, I think it is three parts only. To start with the part 1 of the lesson, and today I am going to give you the introduction of the lesson, how it all started. Okay. There is a boy called French and he starts for school and he doesn't feel like going to school. Okay, to start with part 1. As I told you the other day, last lesson. The name of the story is the last lesson. And Mr. Hamel, the French language teacher, is giving his last lesson. And this assumes a lot of importance considering the fact that next day French will not be allowed to be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. So this was the last day, and the people of Alsace and Lorraine begin to realize what they are going to lose from next day. Okay, so lesson starts in this way. The narrator is a boy, a school going boy, French. He starts for the school from his home and he is walking very slowly, enjoying the fine weather. It was bright sunny day, birds were chirping in the bushes and a lot of activities were around. He saw that behind the sawmill Prussian soldiers were parading, they were drilling. And as he passed by the town hall, he saw some people had gathered in front of the bulletin board. And this bulletin board, as I tell you, this bulletin board did not carry good news for the people of France. I mean people living in the districts of Alsace and Lorraine. So people had gathered there and there were many serious faces over there. He wondered what was there for them, what was the news for them. But he passed by them. He had a mind of bunking his class because it was Mr. Hamel's class and he was going to test him on participles. And he was least prepared for that. He had not done his homework. He knew that he would be asked questions and then if he did not answer, he would make a sorry figure. He will cut a sorry figure there. So he had an idea of bunking his class because weather was fine and it was a lot more attractive to be outdoors rather than indoors. But some good sense prevailed on him and he decided to go to school. He hurried to school. Once he reached school, it was a different school that day. It did not look the usual din and bustle. He did not find the usual din and bustle there. No noise there. The school has had the silence of a graveyard. It was unusually silent school. Previously, there would be a lot of noise coming from the classrooms. Even in the street you can hear the noise. Then opening of the desks, students chanting their lessons, then teacher rapping the table with his ruler. All kinds of noises were heard. But today it was unusually very silent, very quiet school. French was slightly disturbed. Actually he felt uneasy. And to enter the classroom, and he saw through the window that all students had occupied their seats. And it was quite silent and serious over there. He wanted that noise should be there. It would help him to enter the class unnoticed and he would reach his seat without being questioned by his teacher. But his teacher was a different person that day. He talked nicely to French. "Oh French, you have come. We were beginning without you. It is good that you have come. Please sit down." And when he entered the class, he found that the back benches had been occupied by the elderly people of the village, like Hosher, the mayor, the postmaster, several other people. Old mayor was there. And these people were also sitting there. So he was surprised. It was surprising. Not only students, but villagers had come there and they had occupied the back benches. And then Mr. Hamel, he had put on his best dress, his green coat, frilled shirt and his silk cap, all embroidered. Usually he wore the dress for special occasions, on special occasions like prize day or inspection day. And now he was wearing this dress. So French felt that something was happening, something was special that day, something was unusual. And in a grave tone, the teacher told them, this is the last lesson that I am giving you. Order has come from Berlin, the capital of Prussia, that from tomorrow French language will not be taught, only German language will be taught. This German language had been imposed on the province of Alsace and Lorraine, and that this was the last lesson. And he felt so bad about this French, what he was going to lose. He did not like participle. Usually he did not like his lesson. He did not want to attend his class. But that day he realized what he was going to miss. Means from next day he would not see his teacher, Mr. M. Hamel, and he would not have French lesson. Then he realized that what he was going to lose, and so were the villagers. They were sad and they knew that what they were going to lose. And they regretted a lot. This is the part 1 of the lesson. I will give you more parts in the coming days. Now students, these are the questions which I want to discuss with you today, so that the part which I have just covered will be clearer to you. You will have clear concept about the story. You will follow the story closely and meaningfully. To start with the first one, how did French feel about going to school that day? How did French feel about going to school that day? He did not feel like going to school that day, like any other day. Weather was fine, bright and sunny. Prussian soldiers were drilling, and lot of activities and hub was outside. So it was more attractive to be outside than inside. So he did not feel like going to school, okay, because the condition was so good, and he wanted to be outdoors, and he wanted to be the part of what was going on there. Second one, what was surprising about the school? As I told you, when he reached the school, it was a different school that day. It was completely silent, grave and solemn. And everything was quiet over there. Pin drop silence was there. And everything was unusual about the school. Okay? So this struck him as strange. As he entered the classroom was also unusually silent. Okay? So this was the thing which struck him strange, and it looked a different school. Previously there would be a lot of noise, din and bustle, students shouting, chanting, teachers rapping the table with his ruler and all such things, opening of the desks, singing of the lesson, recitation of the lesson. All these noises hit everybody's ears in the street. Third one, describe the unusual bustle in the school. I have already described. Generally it used to be very noisy, but that day it was opposite. It was completely silent school. Fourth one, how had Hamel dressed himself? Because it was a very special day, it was the last lesson, so Mr. Hamel made it a point that he dressed himself in his best dress, I mean green coat, frilled shirt and his silk hat, all embroidered. So he had dressed himself up for the occasion. Now fifth one, who had occupied the back benches? Not only the students and children were in the classroom, elderly people from the village had gathered there. They also understood the importance of this lesson. So they had come there and they wore sad faces. They looked very sad because they knew they were going to miss the French language from the next day, because German language had been imposed. The last question, question number 6. What message did Mr. Hamel convey to those present over there? Message was loud and clear that from next day only German language will be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. No French language will be taught. And this was the heartbreaking news for those present there. They were going to lose their language. It was a very bad news for them. And this news made them very serious. This was Hemel's last class. Okay, so this is the last question. I am sure you have enjoyed the lesson, you have understood everything. Wish you all the best for the coming lessons. Have a wonderful day.